Ingridana at Body Love, and I have a fabulous guest here again with me, David Gillespie, who is the best-selling author of Sweet Poison and a Sweet Poison Quick Plan. And we're going to get straight into some really amazing tips that you can offer us to get off the sugar addiction.
Okay, so the first thing to know is that it's a highly addictive substance and it affects your body in exactly the same way that nicotine does. So nicotine's an opioid and fructose produces an opioid effect in your body. So in order to break it, you have to do similar things to what you would do when you were trying to give up smoking.
Okay.
Unfortunately, when you're giving up smoking, one of the easiest things to do is not put a cigarette in your mouth.
And wear patches. We don't even have patches for cigarette.
That's right.
Coffee, not coffee. We have coffee things for coffee addiction, but nothing for sugar addiction.
Someone said to me, we need Cake-A-Bait.
Cake-A-Bait. That's hilarious.
But one of the big things you can do is eliminate the obvious large areas of sugar in your diet.
Mm-hmm.
So the really obvious things are confectionery.
Yes.
You know, the things that are obviously contain sugar. And that's easy. You can spot them, you can avoid them. That's just as easy as avoiding cigarettes. The next big area that contains a lot of sugar, which most people wouldn't be aware of, but which is also easy to avoid, are breakfast cereals.
Yes.
So they're a third of what most people eat in a day,
Mm-hmm.
and a third of them on average is sugar.
Yes.
So if you avoid all breakfast cereals or stick only to the ones which have no flavouring, because flavouring is just another way of saying sugar.
Yes.
So things like unflavoured porridge, oats porridge type things, unflavoured wheat type products like Weet-Bix, Vita-Brits, those kinds of things. Stick to those and you're fine. Avoid condiments, because condiments add sugar to things which wouldn't ordinarily
like
contain
this.
sugar. Yeah, so like this barbecue sauce, I think is about more than half sugar. And that means that you're getting more sugar than anything else when you put that on your
And does that
food.
make you want to eat more food?
Absolutely. The sugar, because it's addictive, keeps your cravings going.
Yes.
So every time you add sugar into your diet, it's setting you up for the next hit of sugar in an hour or two's time.
Okay.
So,
Where else is it hidden?
all right. So the other big area that people don't suspect that it's in is in juices. So they think soft drinks are bad, I should avoid soft drinks, but I can drink juices because they're the healthy alternative. There's nothing more healthy about a juice than a soft drink. They're both about 10% sugar by weight, which means that when you consume an average large size drink, you're consuming about 9 to 10 teaspoons of sugar.
Wow.
Now, no one's going to sit down and pour 9 teaspoons of sugar down their throat,
Yes.
but they'll happily sit there and consume an orange juice or an apple juice, which has exactly the same amount of sugar. So that's a big hidden area. Another one is in spreads. So just about anything you put on bread contains large amounts of sugar. So the chocolate spreads, honey is 40% fructose, which is just as bad as sugar. And just about anything you could name, aside from things like Vegemite, which are obviously not sweet.
The thing that I really watch out for too is the salad dressings.
Yep.
These non-fat salad dressings make me go, okay, watch, because when you go and read the label, and I think I'd really, call out to anyone out there to really watch it, read what you're actually consuming, because I think people just think non-fat, low-fat, and they think it's healthy. Yet,
Well, usually a label that
sugar.
says low fat is a good sign that the product has high amounts of sugar.
it's okay. Warning.
So, for example, Praise 97% fat-free mayonnaise is 22% sugar.
Okay, yeah.
A full-fat whole egg mayonnaise is less than 1% sugar. So,
And that's another thing. Like, there's a higher fat quantity, and a lot of people, I think, we've been educated by the diet industry or the weight loss industry to lower our fats. We're on the low-fat diet, yet we have the highest obesity that we've ever had
That's right.
in the world. So we're not being satiated because we're constantly craving, eating more sugar and becoming more hungry, and we keep getting bigger and bigger.
when your appetite control is broken, which is the effect that sugar has, it breaks your ability to stop eating. So when that's broken, it doesn't matter whether you're eating fat or not, because your appetite control doesn't work.
And I think that's a very important message, just to repeat. Sugar, not only is it not good for you and it spikes your insulin levels and tells the body to store fat, on top of that, it breaks
your appetite control. It's a hormone disruptor, and it interferes with the operation of the hormones that tell us when we've had enough to eat. So anything that you consume that breaks your appetite control will make you fat. It's as simple as that. And the big thing in our diet that does that is the fructose half of sugar. Now, one of the other big areas that people often think they're safe in, but where they're not, is in the yogurt section of the supermarket.
Oh, yeah.
Yogurt, here's a newsflash, yogurt is not sweet. You might not know that from going to the yogurt section of a supermarket, but yogurt does not taste sweet. It only tastes sweet because they've added vast quantities of sugar to it.
Okay, so you're saying natural yogurt. So
Yep.
have you ever had like a Greek yogurt?
Yep.
That's what
That's
a
what
natural
yogurt tastes
is.
like. That's what all yogurt tastes like before they add sugar.
Okay, I actually bought some today just to have a look. Let's have a look at this. We've got, what is it? Ski. It's 97.6 grams in
So it's-
by 2. No, is that?
So there's 2 servings in the pack. It's 14% sugar.
Wow.
So,
But that's a lot of sugar. How many teaspoons is that? 27.6 grams.
okay, so that's 6 teaspoons of sugar. More than 6 teaspoons.
See,
6
I
and a half.
wouldn't almost have I'm so against sugar that I would not have 6 teaspoons, I don't think, in a week. Or I may have it in a week through, like what you were saying, all the hidden little things.
But
I'm
you'd
not
easily
really
eat that for
realising.
morning tea.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would. But you know what I found for me personally is that I begin to get very nauseous when I have sugar because I haven't had it for so long that I've built up like a tolerant, sort of like I'm almost like allergic to it now.
Well, you're withdrawn from it, and that's something that everybody who withdraws from sugar reports. Now, literally, there are tens of thousands of people who've now tried this, and so the anecdotal evidence comes back very, very strongly.
And what are the best benefits that they've received from it?
Okay, well, there's the obvious benefits, which is that they start losing weight.
Okay.
But they also report that their moods even out, that they're more calm, they feel more focused, and generally feel better most of the time.
Well, you would when you lose weight, and then you can
Well,
feel calm.
even before they start losing weight.
Yes.
So they report there's a period, because this is an addictive substance, there's a withdrawal period.
Okay.
And the withdrawal period lasts, it depends on the person, it depends how long you've been consuming sugar. But for, say, someone your age, you would expect a withdrawal period to last 2 to 4 weeks.
And how do you combat that? Like, how do you deal with it? Like, rather than like scream or yell or go for a run, or how do you deal with that craving? Because that can be quite
Okay,
intense.
so and that's what most of this book is about.
Okay.
Because
But
it's
with
getting through
this
that.
one,
yeah.
So the actual to-dos.
Is how to get through, particularly that withdrawal period, which is when it is going to be hardest to do. And that is about creating ways to avoid circumstances where you would normally consume sugar and providing alternatives to the sugar. So an example, if you're in the habit of going and getting a coffee at morning tea, now for most people, now not for you, but for most people, that's going to mean getting a muffin as well. So they go out, they buy a coffee, they get a muffin, they get some other sweet treat. And it's not really about the coffee, it's about the muffin.
Okay.
And your average muffin contains truly vast quantities of sugar. The average is usually around 10 to 15 teaspoons of sugar in a muffin. So it's definitely something you want to avoid. This provides you with strategies to do that. Like, don't eliminate the coffee because you'll feel like you haven't had a treat.
Yes.
But understand that you are going to want the muffin when you get there, and choose before you get there to have something that doesn't contain sugar.
Yes.
So buttered toast. You know, it's still a treat. You're still having your coffee. You're still out of the office, but you've avoided the sugar. And you'll still have sugar cravings. You'll still want them. But with strategies like that, in the withdrawal period, you can avoid the sugar. The great news is that when you get to the end of the withdrawal period, you don't want the sugar anymore.
Okay.
So you would know, because
Yes,
you've obviously
I've
broken
gone
your sugar
through
habit,
that,
that it's
yeah.
not particularly attractive to you now. It's like any other food.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
interesting. Like, so, yeah, it's like when you enter, you're in love with someone and you know it's an abusive relationship, but to get sort of to wean yourself off, and then you might see that guy 6 months later and you think, what was I thinking? I was so obsessed with him.
That's right.
And then you have no interest anymore. So that's awesome. I want to keep talking, as you know, I can talk underwater, as you can tell. But we're going to go to section number 3 in a moment. But I would just like to say again that this is Sweet Poison, the Sweet Poison Quick Plan at sweetpoison.com.au. Thank you so much, David Gillespie,
Pleasure.
for being here. You're awesome. And I'm Ingrid Arna, and you're watching Body Love. And please email me at ingrid@mybodylove.com or post a comment below, and I will do my best to answer your questions. Thanks for watching.
Imagine all the